Hey, what's up everybody? It's Vids, and we're back for some more Pyre Community RITE Night, which means of course some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre, featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then look no further because you can join said Discord group by clicking on, oh no, not at RITE Club, silly lids, exclamation point RITE Club. There it is. That link right there. That's how you join the RITE Club Discord server. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that and you'll find all the various requests that you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players' exiles, masteries, songs, arenas, even Titan stars are all fair game. So, without further ado, let's hop into versus mode here, set ourselves back to our defaults. I'll hop into Discord and let me know if anyone would like to get us started. Let's see. Huzzah. Okay. I should be all set and ready to go now. iRotor will theoretically be available in just a couple minutes. Okay, so we could potentially get iRotor in for our first series if that works. Well, I suppose either way we'd need at least one other person here. So let me know if anyone else is interested. I mean, as always, I can potentially hop in to be the second person, but would give preference to those of you in chat. Oh, actually, let me just take a minute here and see. Let me get the list of archetypes up so I'm ready to go on that front, if that's something people would like to do. Okay, there we are. That is all set now as well. And I suppose, as always, you guys can also request stuff if there's anything you'd like to see for our first match, or, you know, it may make sense for us to establish who's in before we do that. Meanwhile, I will scour trying to find the blueberry that I just dropped on the ground somewhere. One moment. Oh, I found it. And I just immediately after accidentally crushing it with my chair. Wonderful. Now I have a crushed blueberry on the ground. Just what I was looking for. Ew, that's gross. Oh, yep. Oh, dear. Yeah, that made a bit of a mess. Oh, I made it worse. I attempted to clean it up. And I made it worse. Oh no. It just keeps getting worse. Mistakes were made. Alright, well, I have attempted to do some damage control. In doing so, have perhaps caused more damage, but... Alright, wonderful. Let me know if there's anyone else who would like to get in on the action. And we may be able to get iRotor in one of the spots. But I think even if that is the case, we're still looking for someone else to hop in the second spot. As I said, that person could potentially be me, but would give preference to any of you guys in chat. I actually do still have my controller plugged in, which may or may not be a good thing, I suppose. Depending on if we do have a second person here alongside iRotor looking to get in. Let's see. iRotor is ready. Okay, so I can send you an invite. Let me know if anyone else would like to get in. Otherwise, it may end up being me as the second person here, at least to start things off. And if that is the case, then just let me know whenever anyone else is interested / available, and you're welcome to take my spot. I'll just fill in for the time being. Oh, and then this blueberry, not one of the ones that I dropped on the ground, but you know that... Ooh, I don't know what that is. That might be mold. Let's not eat that one. Alright. iRotor...
Hello.
Is in. Hello, iRotor. How's it going?
Don't see the game yet.
Oh, I did have a...
It says you're busy.
Oh, I think I was tabbed out. Better now?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. So
You have a controller plugged in, I think.
yeah, I am still plugged in at the moment because we don't yet have anyone else who is looking to get in here, so I think I may be starting us off here in that case.
Maybe we can get a quick one in before anyone else.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
Artemis Fowl.
is still like 2 or 3 matches, depending.
Okay.
And after that, we'll probably fill up here.
Artemis Fowl, good to see ya. Feeling birds in the sky today. At least 1 harp per player. Alright, that can be arranged. Let me just throw on our information here. Okay, there we are. So yeah, let me know if anyone else is interested in getting in on the action. I'm happy to swap out as soon as anyone else is interested in getting in, but at least for now, it'll be iRotor and me, and at least 1 harp per team. That is the exile request. So let's hop in. And once again, almost accidentally turn off talismans.
Greetings, exiles. You are gathered at the spring of Jomur. You now have this chance to prove yourselves. Try not to let the pressure get to you. Pyre hearts, stand ready. The withdrawn, stand prepared. Who shall conduct the rites?
Ghost Riders in the sky. Well, there has to be at least 1 harp per team. The question becomes, where does that harp go? It could certainly be in the first spot. Not the worst idea. I am generally a fan of that. Okay, now, I tend to go back and forth between 2 talismans here. I know iRotor despises this one, so I'm gonna make a gentleman's agreement here. I swear, if you take Titan Tooth right now... okay, I thought we had a deal.
It doesn't even make sense against Salute. But I can handle Titan Tooth, I think.
Okay.
More classic, huh?
Let's see. So then, I don't know, take your pick. Think up there. Yeah, sure. Oops. Not that. That button. There we are.
Tizo.
Oh. Getting a little bit of exploding worm action here, I see. Oh, which one's it gonna be? I know you could probably guess.
Exile.
Okay, my rotor. Going with a little bit more of an offensive imp here, and now we have our first rite of the night. I rotor against myself, and we will now find ourselves once again playing the game of does Lids remember what the buttons are?
There goes Tanaka. The orb bathes first in the withdrawn's flame. The orb.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh,
No, you aren't supposed to do that. Or that, for that matter. Ooh, that was interesting. I was about to jump as you pushed me. I'm not sure if I actually had or not, but you almost harp pushed me while I was in air, which would have been pretty interesting. Oh, no, hold on. Yeah, I would prefer for it to be you. Okay, now that was maybe not the smartest of ideas. Oh, you did get Gareth in that. I did not realize. Whoopsie daisy. Why, hello there. I mean, if you insist. Wasn't really the plan, but I'll take it as a plan B.
the Pyre heart seem hungry for their glory.
Okay, now maybe sacrificing Gareth needlessly is not the name of the game. Not that he would have made the stop there, but probably not the move.
Withdrawn's pyre now burns relatively brighter. Banished.
Oh, it did still land. Well done. Very nice. He has learned that I have learned. Ooh, that was a good fell swoop, though. That was a very good fell swoop. Oh, I did. The orb is still over there. It's a little hard to see it for a second there. No! Couldn't quite fake you out. Ooh, I thought I was outside of that range. I'd like to see the replay on that one. I think that was just about as close as you can get. Sets up that uncontested throw, which is a big deal. Ooh, you got me that time. Nope, not you.
The orb is taken.
Ooh, that's not good. Nor is that, to be honest with you. Hard push.
Ah, yes.
Oh, why did that? Oh, right, it started with you because that was prayer beads, which technically delays. Oh, I might have pushed you in. Oops. Well, GG.
Withdrawn prevail.
Well played.
Conducted with aplomb. Thus end this night's proceedings.
All right. Well, let's head on back. GG, I rotor.
Until the next rite.
So let us know that was a harp match, or at least one harp per team match. I'm happy to swap out if there is anyone who would like to get in on the action. I'm mostly just filling in for the time being. Let's turn that off. But I suppose I wasn't really planning on going anywhere anytime soon. I was probably going to hang out for a little while, so if we don't have anyone, I guess I could play a few more matches. Lilac is here. What's up, Lilac? How's it going? If you'd like to hop in, you're welcome to take my spot. As I was just saying, mostly just filling in for the time being. Give you a second. Excuse me? You had me in the first half. You got me in the second half, though. What the heck? What is up, Core? Thank you for the raid. Hope your stream went well. We are obviously doing some multiplayer Pyre here. Yeah, not sure where the frog came from in the first place. Never mind the fact that, given that you need to relocate it, suggests that you have lost said frog. So, does raise a lot of questions. Lilac is maybe looking to get in here. That is, at least once said frog is in fact located and perhaps corralled. If this is a pet frog, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the end goal with this frog is. Camilo says, pick a good song. Also, hold on. Hold on, I need to show you this, Failer. Failer, you can try to play it off as if you were hanging around here when the raiders arrived, but you see, your Twitch message betrays you. Oh, you're gonna get a lot of streamception here, but which one is it? What up, Raiders, says Failer with the banner above his head. Raider from Coranium. Takes one to know one, Failer. I'm afraid I have called your bluff. Alright, well, let us throw on a song. Do you have a preference, iRotor, for the song?
Let's do a classic Will of the Scribes.
Will the Scribes, okay.
Why not play let's do another quick one between us two, and I think until that is over, someone has sorted out if they want to play.
Okay.
The raid has taken place.
Everything changed when the raid took place. Was it just the song? I think it might have been. Yeah, looks like it. In which case, let's begin. So nothing affecting our team composition here or anything like that.
The Pyre Hearts versus
Very neutral arena as well. That just makes it so hard to choose. Frog secured. Okay, but see, now you have a lot of explaining to do, Lilac. Please tell us how this frog came to be in this area to begin with, and then once you have done so, please explain what the long-term goal is to do with this frog. Is this a pet? Is this a wild frog that happens to have made a random appearance? Color me intrigued. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Because the answer is that I don't know.
choose someone.
I don't really have a plan here. I don't know. Feeling uninspired. Guess. Guess. I don't know.
Edwin.
Gave you a frog when it was outside in the cold, so now you're keeping it in a cup until it warms up, then you will release it. Now this may come as news to you, Lilac, but if you are in fact choosing a cup to be the form of containment for said frog. Frogs do have a bit of a tendency. One might even go as far as to say that they are famous for jumping. And as such, this aforementioned cup and the previously discussed escape maneuver that said frog performed may be evidence that this cup is not, in fact, the most effective form of containment. It's covered up, don't worry, and if it tries any funny business, you will drink it. Now, regardless of whether you're referring to the frog or the potential drink that is in the cup that also contains the frog, neither one of those are things. No, we are not talking about the nutritional value of a frog, okay? That is not where we go from there.
Chattering mattress. Never do that. That's a mistake.
My rotor is a seasoned veteran. He knows not to be swayed, not to be distracted by the whims of chat. There is no drink inside. Right. So what are you drinking if not the frog? You will drink the frog. Exactly. You know? I didn't think it would come down to this. This day and age, you know, in these trying times, the people, they have to resort to none other than drinking frogs. Nah, you know what? Sure.
Rookie.
This is the original one. It is. Okay.
So chat, when do I tell iRotor that I never play this composition? Oh, that wasn't even who I wanted to have the orb, to be honest with you.
The withdrawn are the first to
Well, I mean, obviously I have in the campaign. You have no choice but to do this. I'm just saying. It's been a long time, and this is definitely not my comp of choice, so to speak. Oh, he's doing the black magic maneuvers. He's doing the black magic maneuvers. You know, that's a great question. And I would say that it's probably in your best interest not to ask. Because the results were pretty terrifying. We learned some things that I don't think we wanted to learn. Some things that I think the world was better off not knowing.
The orb is up.
Ooh, nifty maneuver. No, Camilo!
Now go on, just once more.
That was interesting. Oh, also I did pass the orb. That's a little frustrating.
None left unscathed.
Oops.
Into the adversary's flame.
Oof, indeed. Oop, there it is. GG.
The withdrawn prevailed. 'Twas as though the scribes themselves
Wait, you haven't even
stood
discussed
by
who
their
wants to play
side.
next. Who wants to play next? People
Yeah.
out there.
Is
I
ended.
think...
The frog distracted everyone.
I think Lilac was originally saying, once the frog has been captured, that Lilac could be one of the participants. But then if we're looking to do a double swap here, then we definitely have not established who the second person would be. Also, Lilac said be right back, which, of course, my head immediately goes to, obviously that means that the frog has once again escaped. So, we may or may not have Lilac coming in here in a few minutes, at least once the wild frog chase is done. But even then, we may still be looking for another person to hop in addition to that. Anor's available. Alright. Well, in that case, I'm a little more confident in Anor's availability than Lilac's, given the potential issues that Lilac may or may not be facing at the moment with frogs. So I'll unplug my controller. I'll send an invite to Anor, and then maybe by the time... Iroda, were you looking to switch out immediately, or are you potentially good for one more? Deafening silence ensues. I ask because I am not sure when Lilac will actually be back. Alright, but Anor is in and has taken my place. I guess I'll just double check.
Yeah, still player 2.
Okay. So yeah, I wrote, are you still good for another match or two? Because
Yeah, sure.
not sure when Lilac's going to return. Okay, so this is Anor.
Hello.
Cheers, the Pyre Heart's no more. Hello, Anor. Let me actually get you... Ugh, too many tabs. Set as the Nightwings. There we are. Okay. So, we do not have any requests at the moment. Let us know if there is anything you guys would like to see. Otherwise, this would be our first match between Anor and Iroder, and we could just leave it up to them to go with whatever they'd like. But Anor says, nah, that's silly. Why would we ever do that when we can turn customize off and have everything be randomized and not even know what it is in advance and instead just get thrown straight into the action? So, let's see what we get. I think I hear a boat. No, it's Fall Solium. It was the water. Threw me off a bit there, but for Anor, it is a cur, a worm, and last spot is a savage. For Iroder, it's a worm, a sap, and a cur. So actually, somewhat similar teams here. Yeah, 2 out of 3 of the characters are the same. It's the Stowaway for Anor versus Palmus, the sap, for Iroder. And we did see a Titan Tooth out of the corner, or at least I saw out of the corner of my eye. I was focusing on the characters' portraits in the bottom of the screen, so I didn't catch exactly who it was who had it. But it's Iroder who got us started with a 15 damage throw, and follows that up quickly with a 12 damage throw here. Nor, it's the orb, but one deluge goes down to the opposing deluge. And there is the Stowaway now for Nor, plunging for 20. No prayer beads for her, though. She's gone in this round. Anor checks for the Worm Salute. Didn't seem to have it there, though. And, oh dear. It's definitely not 3 jumps. It might not even be 2 jumps for Anor's Barker. Oh, but Anor does have Leech. Okay, so that's 11 damage plus 10 Pyre Life back. And that is enough to swing the tide in Anor's favor here, and that, plus another now full 15 damage throw, plus 10 Leech. That's Deluge with that, and the Titan Tooth is on Iroder's Deluge. As we just saw there, you guys probably saw it a little bit earlier, but there's the confirmation. A little more damage for Iroder. The Leech for Nor already having made a bit of a difference. That is, for the most part, the mathematical reason behind why Nor has a roughly 20-point lead here. Well, Bright Wisp, that was on the stowaway for Nor, automatically passing the orb when she goes down with it. Here is the stowaway. Tries to jump past, oh, but Bright Wisp activating once again as she goes down. Might have been 2 jumps from Anora's Barker. But I am suspecting that it is a predominantly right-sided Barker, or maybe he has the quick banishment time. But it's the worms right now who are doing much of the heavy lifting. Iroder continues that trend. Stowaway. Over to Barker. Back to the stowaway. 2-pronged attack. Wherein does the real threat lie? The answer is with the stowaway. 20 damage plunge, and that means Anora is getting close, but would likely need still 2 more scores at least. Then again, of course, Iroder does have a sap, may have some rekindling, has the exploding sapling. So we know a little bit about the masteries. Not sure if we've seen anything else on that front to let us know just how much rekindling he might have, but 15 damage plunge. Oh, 15, hold on. That means 100% left side for Iroder's Barker. And Iroder with that Titan Tooth sets up a 15 damage throw, and that means Iroder trying to launch a comeback here. Deluge goes down. And okay, so it is 20 damage. There's, as we suspected, at least a little bit on the right side, potentially a lot on the right side for Nora's Barker, but he's gone in this round. Means only 2 people left. It means 1 score, though. Might be all Nora needs, depending on if there is any rekindling for Iroder, and if so, how much is it? Stowaway for Nora, blocked, and with the Titan Tooth, Nora is stunned. But Nora does still have a worm back defensively. Maybe not the Exile. She would have preferred to have seen in that position, though. Not that anyone can stop a worm throw from Iroder. Those are unblockable. Stowaway trying to sneak past. Nearly does. Lost it momentarily, only to get it back. She is in an advanced position and somehow still has avoided getting banished. Does eventually go down. Bright Wisp activates, though, and that gives the orb up to Barker, but he goes down, and now it is back in Iroder's possession. Titan Tooth and some weird directionality of that stun. But Iroder had his worm hanging out right next to the Pyre, so quick plunge there does mean no deluge in this round. But it does mean that Iroder may only need 1 score here, and much smaller chance that Anora would have any rekindling would have to come from the right light talisman. That seems quite unlikely. Typhoon Bottle.
Divine intervention.
But there is rekindling. It's 10 for Iroder, we now know for certain. And that means 1 score for Anora would be enough. Same could potentially be said for Iroder right here. And there it is.
The withdrawn prevail.
GG.
Perhaps a stroke of fortune ought to be thanked.
Well played, you two.
The ceremony is complete.
All right, and let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And, well, Lilac says I'm back for real this time. Let me just turn Customize back on before I forget, but that may mean that if you'd like to swap out now, iRotor, you may have someone who can take your spot. I mean, up to you. I don't want to force you out if you still want to stick around a little while longer.
It has been a while since I played against Nord. Let's do one more, and then I'll swap on.
Okay. So one more here between Anor and iRotor. Let us know if there is anything we'd like to see between them. We do have one request, and that is Frog Enhanced, which means pick a crone with the R2 mastery. Is that the extra speed?
No, it's the pounce.
Oh, I see how that's frog related. Okay. I see. Is that the closest thing we can get to a frog?
Probably.
I don't know if there are any amphibious species that we see in the downside that are playable, at least. Alright, well it seems as though that's it. So let's hop in for this next one. It's going to be at the Isle of Kalamer.
Shall take on the withdrawal. Welcome.
So a little more chaos from that.
Who shall conduct the rites?
So there is a request for a crone with the R2 mastery, which, yes, is the Vital Pounce. The one that gives stamina back after jumping and landing right near an opponent. Which, I don't know, at one point in time, probably was on the short list, being considered as the worst mastery in the game. I don't know if maybe people have come around on it ever so slightly. Not sure what would take its place. I mean, there are some masteries that are buried deep on the other side of the tree for some characters that never really see the light of day. May not necessarily mean that they are less powerful in a vacuum, but they might be buried behind some less desirable masteries, so people never bother to go all the way. I'm thinking of, like, right side Cur Tree, for example. Built-in prayer beads is nice to have, but you have to commit quite a bit to get it. There is not built-in, but just the normal prayer beads for Almer. And infinite stamina on Raji for Anor in the last spot. And power casting Headwind for iRotor, and here we go. We have our two frogs in the lead spot, and they both immediately banish each other. Frog is back. The stamina, however, is not.
Tis taken. The orb.
Anor covers the orb, has the infinite stamina portal, and that does help to set up this 25 damage plunge. That does mean it's a little bit more of an offensive imp setup for Anor there. Of course, she does have two imps. At least one of them is set up that way. iRotor
Into the adversary's flame.
trying to fend off Anor, at least until he can get some more reinforcements, but Anor does get it back. Blocked here. Oh, got blocked and then landed next to an opponent, and you heard the sound effect from Anor's Vital Pounce activating, so that might be the first one we've gotten thus far, and it's definitely not in a very useful way that it activated, but maybe that is culminating with iRotor's score, and that is just emblematic of that, as iRotor now follows up with a 30 damage prone plunge, which I do not believe had any Vital Pounces that helped build toward that. iRotor defenseless, so just enough time for Anor to charge up a full damage imp throw. Again, that's the 25 damage imp, so hitting reasonably hard. And more. 25 damage imp plunges here. But it does mean Anor is without Raji in this round. Gertrude's turn, perhaps. One score, potentially all that Anor needs, and this could be it, but just a little bit off the mark on that jump. So it's back with Iroder here. The crones, or should I say frogs, once again, canceling each other out. Gertrude. Blocked here. Now Vorfrit, plunging for Iroder, that's 30 damage, and that means that now Iroder's potentially able to finish this with one score. A sudden death match of sorts here. Does depend a little bit on who the one doing the damage is, and whether that is full damage or just a partial damage throw, but Anor has enough to get the job done. GG.
Their pyre nearly was extinguished there, but no.
Well played, you two.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
All right, well, let's head on back.
Thanks for the games.
Until the
GG's
stars
Iroder.
align.
I'm not sure if Phaler's statement is supposed to be a pun or not. Interpret that however you see fit. But either way, we are looking for someone to hop in here to take Iroder's spot. So I think at one point in time, well, we've had some mixed signals from Lilac. It all depends on what the state of the frog is. Put me in, coach. All right. The frog has been tamed. Invite should be on its way, Lilac.
The frog is secured, and
Okay.
I have not drank in it yet.
All right. I'd just like to let it be known that this stream does not support any form of animal cruelty. That includes consuming live or dead amphibians. Particularly ones that have been captured against their will. And imprisoned in cups.
I plan on releasing it very soon.
That's what they all say. But then the power goes to their heads.
What power?
You've imprisoned an innocent frog!
It's cold outside, okay?
So what's gonna happen when you put it back out? Like, what? So do all frogs just get hotel rooms for the winter? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Well, then start up your own frog hotel chain.
I will.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentleworms. The world's latest, greatest, first, best, and worst frog hotel chain. It's true. It's true, Murph. But you know, I think that just means that there's a real opportunity out there for someone to go out and disrupt the market with a new type of hotel chain that just targets the underserved frog market.
Precisely.
Alright, well, let us know if there is anything you guys would like us to do setup-wise for this one. Let me make sure that Lilac has controls. There we are. Lilac, which triumvirate would you like to be today?
I shall be the Pyre Hearts.
Oh! sharing frogs is caring. Not if we're consuming the frogs. Oh, also, the stream is actually frozen. One moment. I'm realizing.
Uh-oh.
Should be a quick fix. Usually you just give it a little poke. And that does the trick. Just a good thing that it happened to freeze when we were on the main menu and not when we were in the middle of a match. Otherwise, that would have been much more of a problem. Okay, and Anor is swapping over to the true Night Wings. Okay. Camilo, that is so disrespectful, okay? The frogs are more than capable of paying for their own housing, okay? They just lack the opportunities. The housing market is in a real shortage right now. There's a housing crisis right now. And perhaps that can at least in parts be addressed by starting the world's latest and greatest frog-exclusive hotel chain.
Precisely.
Alright, I am not seeing anything request-wise for this one, so I think we're good to just hop in and leave this up to the players, setup-wise.
The true Night Wings.
What do you mean they can't carry money?
The Pyre hearts.
You mean to tell me you've never seen a frog open up their
Who shall
wallet,
conduct
use
the
a credit
rites?
card? For what it's worth, we did just get a request from Camilo. We may just barely have enough time to do this. For frog-looking stuff in the talisman category.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, Anor, that was the first thing I was thinking of. I'm with you on that one. A leech?
Can you suggest anything that is even remotely frog-like out of this?
Well, the color, the shape, yeah, definitely. Namely, the one that I just said I was also thinking was very frog-like when Anor took it. But there are, as we were establishing either last week or the week before, that is possibly the single most common color for all the talismans. So, no real shortages, at least from the color scheme, of finding something that, not to say that all frogs are teal colored, but I think that's in and around perhaps the most common color for frogs to be.
Are you stereotyping frogs, Lids?
No, I'm just speaking about statistics. Demographic data about frogs, okay?
Alright.
It's like you didn't even read the latest census.
What?
Did you not read the 2024 frog census?
I can't say that I did.
Well, then don't talk to me about understanding frog statistics.
All right, I'm sorry to frogs everywhere. I apologize for my insensitivity.
At least come in here with a basic understanding of the frog demographic statistics out there. The fundamentals. We do have a hangover on one of those chromes as a heads up. Namely that one. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's just the downside of your talisman. My apologies.
Udmilda.
So is it a yay or a nay on Flame Leech as being frog-like?
I mean, it's up to you. It is perhaps a scathing political statement to say that frogs are leeches, but that's on you. Here we are trying to build a better understanding, extend an olive branch to the frog community, trying to address some of their unmet needs by finally creating a new, much-needed industry that would better serve them. And yet here is Lilac saying that the frogs are leeches. I mean, this is coming from the person, of course, who captured a frog, who held it against its will. Perhaps we shouldn't be surprised after all. Okay, now this does definitely have hangover effects. Forfeit. Frog Exile update incoming. Instead of the downside, it's Lilac's Cup. Well, here we go. A match for the first time today between Anor and Lilac, featuring talismans that are frog-like. As Lilac breaks out the Crone Salute, although Anor has Rookie in his usual form and able to plunge, despite that being a round in which Lilac used the Crone Salute. And there is Anor, plunging straight in for 20 damage. But no prayer beads on the stowaway, so she is gone for this round. Don't think anyone tried to make the case for prayer beads being frog-like. Udmilda, banished here. The opposing Udmilda, banished as well. Now it's Bertrude for Lilac. Everyone down on Lilac's side. Lilac does, statistically speaking, have what I think might be the 3 lowest possible Hope Exiles on the same team. So that may be a recurring theme here. If Anor is aggressive with the banishments, Lilac may find those exiles will be out of play for a while, but Anor may not need to do the banishments, as this time it is a Cur Plunge over the defenders, courtesy of those extra Cur Hops. And now it's Anor breaking out that Crone Salute. Oh, and with enough damage, no less,
GG.
to take the win. GG.
What a crushing victory it was.
Well played, you two.
The rite is done.
All right. Well, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Camilo has stopped frogging around and left to go take a shower. That's how you know times are really tough. People have to stop frogging around. Sad, sad times indeed. Then Anor says, talismans you would like to have yourself. Now, does that basically just mean it's a talisman's request for whatever talismans you want? Or is that something more nuanced than that? Like, oh, it's actually something you want, like, IRL. Like, are you blocking talisman requests? Okay, you are saying, like, IRL. Gotcha. Things you would actually like to have in real life that appear as talismans. Excuse me, Camilo, you said that you were no longer frogging around and you had to go take a shower, and yet here you are, making comments about Oris' scale. I didn't mean to frog that, my bad. He knew as soon as he had that message ready to go as soon as I started talking. He didn't even wait for me to comment. He knew. Oh no! Someone else is frogging around. Alright, well let's get this one started. Oh.
The true night wings
Whoa!
shall take on the Pyre.
Whoa!
Well, you know.
Welcome.
Or should I say,
Who
match
shall
site F.
conduct the rites?
Oh. Well, some might say that the dynamic that we often refer to as boat magic, one that tends to involve characters unexpectedly jumping higher and or further than usual, that dynamic is somewhat frog-like, in a way. As Anor, remember there is a request for taking talismans that you would like to have IRL. Anor, did you just take the Dying Flame, or is that the Living Flame? Wait, which one is that one? Okay, Anor, are you okay? Making me a little concerned with that being your first choice. You like how? Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. That's fine. If someone has trapped you in a cup against your will, please blink twice. Kerfang on Orlek for Lilac. Bottled Void IRL. That's true. That would be very high risk. Oh, if you want a 35... That's true. Are we talking about from a visual standpoint? That was what at least Nor was saying for her pick. Are we talking about what the item is based on? Like a fang? I don't know. I'm not sure I want to be collecting fangs IRL. Or are we talking about the in-game effect happening IRL, in which case, yeah, having a 35% chance of having 2 lives is maybe kind of crazy. Camilo does have a point there. So I guess there are a few ways you could choose to interpret this prompt. So I must ask, is the Tailwind Crest because you like the speed, the aesthetics, or because you prefer to have molten lava in your pocket?
This isn't molten lava.
It looks like lava, okay?
I beg to differ.
There are definitely some potential hot takes here. I'll be curious to see if anyone ends up choosing one of them. Of course, now that I've verbalized this, I'm sure both players will proceed to check every possible talisman to potentially take one of those. Bright Wisp or Lilac.
It's a nice little lantern.
Isn't it actually some creatures that have been captured inside of that lantern? And that's what... Yeah, this tiny light-emitting creature in this cask has taken residence there. Oh, okay. Phew, by choice. Thank goodness. I was about to say, history repeats itself once again. Despite appearing trapped. I don't know. I'm just saying. It does potentially raise some questions. Lunar glass for the stowaway. That is Lilac's last, or rather, Anora's last choice. This will be Lilac's last choice here. A couple of Tailwind crests. And also a whole lot of harps on Anora's side, a whole bunch of demons on Lilac's side, and because of all those demons, it means that Lilac had more starting Pyre life, and it means that Anora immediately got the extra value from the Dying Flame. Here is Lilac, and there's an interesting harp cast, courtesy of the boat magic. Everyone is down on Anora's side, at least until Tamitha makes a return. But she is quickly banished. The stowaway returns, but that's not enough to stop a 33 damage plunge from Orlek. 30 damage plunge from Jody. Those demon plunges, they do add up quite quickly, of course. They do a lot of damage, but with the Dying Flame, Anora's not doing bad damage either. Given how Lilac had that extra starting Pyre life, Anora is still trying to get down to what would typically be the starting point, 100 Pyre life. Whereas Lilac is quite a bit further along than that. Here's Orlek. No! Close, but not close enough. Anora sneaky. And plunges for 28 damage, which means Lilac is sitting on 101. And Anora almost immediately followed up with an additional plunge there, but came up just a little bit short. Tamitha plunges here. That one is just for 20 damage. It's the other harp, Tamitha, who has the Dying Flame. Here she is. And there is the Dying Flame. Once again, giving the bonus damage. Oh, but once again, Anora keeps on almost getting through with the stowaway, but not quite. Once again, though, with the lower of the two harp damage scores. That does make things awfully close here. Likely a 2-score game for either player, but here is Lilac changing that math, and with Kerfang, it's awfully close, but not quite close enough. But there it is. GG! GG! Well played, you two.
Such a well-conducted victory it was. The rite is complete.
All right. Well, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And let us know if you guys have any other potentially frog-related requests that you would like us to comply with here. It's okay, you can do other things that are not frog-related as well. That is also fair game. Or, of course, if you don't have anything in mind, we can always leave it up to the players to take whatever they want. That is also an option. Not seeing anything at the moment, though. So I suppose in that case, we'll just have the players take their preferred teams. And an Norse is good for a couple more, then potentially could swap out, so let us know if there is anyone else who'd like to get in on the action in a little bit. Could potentially take a Norse place. For this one, is still a Nor versus Lilac, and no requests from chat, so everything up to the players. And will be a quick throwing stowaway in the first spot for an Nor. Then extra plunging damage with the Kerfang on Ulmer. That's Lilac's first choice. Prayer Beads Gareth in the second spot for an Or. Speedy Stowaway for Lilac. And it has been 2 Savages thus far for Nor, and with Ulmer potentially in the third spot, with Banishing Throws, make it 3. Lilac also has already taken 2 Savages, but instead of saving the best for last, opts for a Leeching Bertrude as the final member of the team. So here we go, and as we often see with saluting Savages on either side, oftentimes they press the salute around the same time, and they banish each other in the process, more or less canceling each other out, as an Or is basically defenseless here, except gets Gareth back for a heroic save, and he goes double off the wall with that jump. Nor back with Ulmer this time, and off the wall banishes. But now Lilac has it back, but loses the exile in the process. Nor back with the stowaway. Down she goes, but then Gareth teleports back to pick up the orb once again, but he's banished. Now it's Ulmer's turn. Once again, a little bit of ping-pong pinball action, culminating in a banishment, courtesy of the shooting star, and then eventually it does turn into a throw that lands in the Pyre, that time for 19. Stowaway for Nor. Oh, well there is the Crone Salute from Lilac. So Nor has nothing but defenseless Howlers here, tries to slow Lilac down, but even once Nor gets some defenders back, that throw is unblockable from the Crone.
Adversaries gained an edge.
Bertrude here for Lilac, leaps in. This for 30 damage. And Nor throws this one in for 20 damage. Oh, and does Lilac have Leech? Yes, I think so, because we did see Lilac get up to 100 Pyre life before Nor had scored, and that was not Nor's first score of the game, but there is Nor, throwing it off the wall and in, that time with Ulmer, and that time for the full 20 damage. Everyone down for Lilac, opportunity perhaps for Nor, who goes for the wall bouncing strats, off the mark that time though, but on the second attempt, well, third attempt really, leaps in. Nor off the wall and then goes in, and that does drop Lilac down to 20.
The rite is nearly ended.
Once again, the off-the-wall banishing throw, but no time to get the second one in there. Gareth, however, plunges in and takes the win.
True night wings prevail.
GG.
They brushed aside their adversaries without too much trouble.
Well played, you two.
The rite is done.
All right. The will of the scribes, indeed. Well, let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
And let us know if there is anything you guys would like to see for the next one. And just as a reminder, Honor was offering to swap out relatively soon, so if there is anyone who would like to get in, we could potentially make that happen soon. But at least for now, we are looking at Honor versus Lilac. So if there is anything we'd like to set up there, let us know. Otherwise, I think that previous one was just the players taking their preferred teams, if I'm not mistaken, so we could continue that here, although Honor's preference is to turn Customize off. That does cover most of the things. We could, of course, still do an arena and or a song, but just about everything else is accounted for here. So let's jump in. And it's the book. And for Honor, it is a harp and 2 imps. For Lilac, it is 2 curs and an imp. Lucky break on one of those curs, at least. Dalbert, it's a chance Ruki has it as well. And Honor checking for the salutes. Oh, has Black Hoof on Tamitha. Honor does. That's not something she wanted to see. Does have the imp salute on one of those imps, but not the other. And that's 15 damage on that imp plunge, so no extra damage mastery. Honor does have the harp salute, as demonstrated there. But it's Lilac in possession. At least 2 jumps. That might have even been a third on that cur. Oh, okay. Honor does have the extra damage mastery on the second imp, Raji. Well, now, since Honor cannot pick up the orb with Tamitha, that does make things rather challenging at the moment. It's a little one-dimensional. Can she still find a way to break through? Not on this occasion. It's back with Lilac. Has it here with Dalbert. And Honor does still manage to get the job done here with that imp, that being the lower damage imp, Tizo. Here's Raji, this was the higher damage imp, and he banishes everyone. But Dalbert comes back quickly, but that's not enough to stop this plunge. It means 1 score is potentially all that Honor needs, except I think Tizo is the lower damage imp. It means only the harp would have enough damage, and Honor was trying to set up Tamitha for the winning plunge, despite not being able to hold the orb. If she receives a pass while she's standing right on top of the opposing Pyre, she can still plunge with it. But it didn't quite work out on that occasion. It is the only way she could finish it with 1 score, and looking to do it here. And there it is. GG.
They overwhelmed their adversaries utterly.
Well played, you two.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
All right. Well, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And as we were saying, Honor was volunteering to swap out right around now. So if there is anyone who would like to get in, then let us know. Honor, are you good to stick around if there isn't anyone who wants to take your spot? Could stay for a little bit longer? Okay, gotcha. So yeah, let us know if anyone wants to get in on the action. If not, then Honor can stick around. Honor totally knew that I was about to ask her that question. Right as I was starting to ask it, she put that in chat. She knows. She knows. She says archetypes. Archetypes.
Ooh.
All right. For the
Okay.
first time today. I don't even think we did it last week, so it's our first time in a little while. We're breaking out the archetypes. But I have them up here. Let me just get the random number generator going. And I say it every time, but the fact remains there are still some archetypes that I believe we have yet to see get rolled. Such is the way of the random number generator. It is, well, random. And it does not know which ones we have and have not yet seen. Okay, let's see. Well, this one will be a Norse. 1 second. And as a reminder, well, actually, let me make sure I have all the archetypes for the players, and then while they are pondering how they want to approach those archetypes, I'll give you guys a reminder as to what exactly the archetypes are all about. Okay, and then this one is the one that Lilac rolled. Okay, so let me know if either of you have any questions about those archetypes that you have rolled. But the general explanation of the archetypes, as you guys may or may not remember, a little bit of guidance, giving the players a particular theme to build their team around. And so some of those have to do with the way they set up their characters, others with the way that they actually play once the match has started. And enough that there should be a few ways to do it, while at the same time, the players, they have some flexibility. They can go in any of a number of directions there, and don't necessarily need to go 100% all in on the archetypes. They just should be an important aspect, an important feature behind their teams and their strategy. So I have sent them DMs with their randomly assigned archetype. Only they know what their archetype is. Their opponent does not. So let me know in DM if you have any questions about those archetypes. But if not, then we can see where we end up, and that may affect how the players choose to construct their teams. We have Bertrude's theme is the song request. Alright, well, let's get started then. Let's see where we end up. And I don't think Anor had any questions. I saw her she gave me the thumbs up that she was good to go. Lilac, are you good as well? Or did you have anything that...
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, the players are good. They've received their archetypes. But do they have a plan for how to implement them? There are, I believe, 33 different archetypes, so that means, as said, some of which we've never seen before, but the math is such that there's in the thousands in terms of the possible matchups. One archetype against another. So even if we have seen some of the individual archetypes before, the chances that we've seen one particular archetype match up against another particular archetype, very unlikely we're getting many repeats there, as Anor started with the Stowaway, with a speedy talisman, the Lunar Glass, I believe. And it's Speedy Volfred in the first spot for Lilac. As I was saying, some archetypes may perform differently depending on the arena, may also perform differently depending on whether or not they are still in the game. One moment as I get Lilac back in.
I don't know what happened there.
That's an encouraging sign. Maybe the frog was exacting revenge.
Potentially. You never know.
where I was going with that was that this is the largest arena in the game. So it is on the extreme end of that spectrum, which may inherently favor or disfavor certain archetypes over others. Certainly you would think would at least influence the approach that players would opt to take. As Anor goes with Headwind here. One moment. I think I need to re-give you, yep, controls.
Thank
There we are.
you.
Sometimes it loads you back in with them if you disconnect and I re-invite you. Other times it doesn't.
Intriguing.
That's a lot of rekindling there on that sap. So bear in mind, likely to see a huge second life bar from Lilac. And as a reminder, you don't necessarily need to take every possible thing for your archetype. If you feel as though, okay, I've already played into that a fair bit with my first two choices, then maybe you have some flexibility in your last spot. Up to you guys. It's a speedy Jody in the last spot for Anor. And Triesta's Plume on Pamitha in the last spot for Lilac. So here we go. It's an archetype showdown between Anor and Lilac, and Anor gets it started with a 20 damage plunge here. We'll see how these archetypes match up and how the players execute with those teams. As that's a double banishment for Anor's Jody, followed up with a 30 damage plunge. But it means no Jody in this round. It's the stowaway here for Anor. Sidesteps the harp, but then Pamitha makes a recovery, gets the banishment, and is now on the attack for Lilac. And makes it in here. Was flying at the time, so that's an extra 5 damage from Triesta's Plume and a chance of the Prayer Beads effect triggering, but doesn't happen this time. So it means now it is just a couple of saps for Lilac. Both trying to wall off the Pyre, and, well, the shield almost did the job there, but Anor instead got a double banishment. That makes Lilac defenseless, and Anor able to throw this one in for 30, which means one score would potentially be enough for Anor to deplete Lilac's starting Pyre life. But remember, as we were saying earlier, Lilac has a metric ton of rekindling. As Anor was about to show there, but Lilac does just enough to stop the stowaway. Is now on the attack with Pamitha, who is slowed, but still manages to make it in. 25 damage, was flying, and does get the Prayer Beads effect this time. Pamitha is still in for this round, even after plunging, courtesy of Triesta's Plume. Anor starts pushing the pieces into the middle of the arena. Sees a whole bunch of people lined up and says, "Don't mind if I do." But there is the rekindling, and it is a whopping 120. More Pyre life than Lilac had to start off with, we see from that rekindling. So that means this match is far from over.
Tay banished.
Ametha. Blocked. But then banishes one of the defenders, then gets banished by another defender. Now it's Nor with the Stowaway and Jodariel. Jodariel one side, she goes down, but still a Nor on the other side with the Stowaway, and she plunges for 20. And now she's gone in this round. Jody. Blocked. Banishes one, and then plunges for 30. Oh, that was a dramatic move there by the Stowaway, teleporting and casting in quick succession. No Jody in this round, so it's Hedwyn one side, the Stowaway the other, and it's Hedwyn who makes the decisive move. He plunges for 20. Now he's gone in this round. That means we are, even after that rekindling, now tied up at 50 Pyre life apiece. And with that plunge from Jody, it drops Lilac down to 20, and since we have seen the rekindling, it means that one score is potentially all that Anora needs here, though it would need to be maximum damage from either the Stowaway or Hedwyn. So Anora starts setting them both up. Hedwyn sidesteps, but does eventually go down, and now Anora's defenseless. Until Hedwyn makes his return. He gets a block. And gets the orb back. And that's the Stowaway jumping in for the win. GG.
Their pyre burns, whilst that of their adversaries is but ash.
Well played, you two.
I'm still good to stay in, however, I will be right back.
Okay. Well, that was an archetypes match. 2 randomly assigned archetypes. Which I would say you guys are welcome to share if you'd like now. It's just that Lilac has just stepped away, so Lilac probably... I mean, I could tell you what Lilac had, but if Lilac is interested in hearing what you had, Anor, then maybe we just wait for Lilac's return. Anor says it was debuff, emphasize having lots of ways to passively debuff your opponents. And I saw, what was it? I saw, yeah, the webbed feet. That was proccing a lot. So it certainly at least felt like that was the main way that Anor was doing that. Were there any other aspects that you were... Did you have the extra banishment time on Hedwyn or Jodariel? I didn't remember. I wasn't sure if that's what you were also looking for. Both. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's one of those ones where it's a little bit up to interpretation, you know, what qualifies as a debuff. So it's always interesting to see how the players choose to do it. Anor just shared what her archetype was.
Mine was shield centric, emphasize using harp, sap, and/or harp shields.
Although, could have easily been mistaken for something life-centric, as you did load up on crazy rekindling. It's a little bit of a curveball there.
I mean, if I'm using saps, I might as well make the most of it.
Yeah. Alright, and Phaler is saying he's potentially able to get in if anyone is looking to swap out now. I know, Anor, at one point you were thinking about doing that. If you'd like, it sounds like we may be able to do that. I mean, up to you. We could do one more if you'd like. You'd like to? Okay. In that case, no worries. Good timing. GG's, Anor. Good to have you, as always. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. And then Phaler. Happy to get you in once you're on Steam, and let us know if there's anything... Oh, Lilac, are you good to stick around?
Mm-hmm. I'm good. Good to stay. Good to... I was gonna say I'm good to stay, but also if we do a double swap on, I'm also good to leave.
Okay, well, let us know in that case if there is anyone else who'd like to get in on the action. or if this is just a single swap. Either way, let me get Phaler in here. Oh, let me reset this before I forget, because I was definitely about to forget. Not seeing anyone else expressing interest at the moment, so I think that means we're looking at a Phaler versus Lilac matchup here. So let us know if there is anything we'd like to see between those two, or if we'd like to give Phaler a bit of a warm-up first. And then Phaler, I would ask you which triumvirate you would like to be. I do have a guess. But if you would like anything other than the Fate, let me know.
Hello.
Hello, Phaler.
What?
All right. Not seeing any requests from chat at the moment either, so at the moment it's looking like this is just going to be a standard match. Phaler and Lilac taking whatever they'd like here. Okay, Phaler is opting for
Hold
the
on one moment, I'm being summoned.
Oh, by the frog? It makes you wonder. So yeah, we're looking like we're going to have Phaler versus Lilac. If we would like, we can just leave it up to the players to go with whatever they want. Otherwise, we can set something up if we prefer. I think I was checking a few weeks ago just how many of the archetypes we've yet to see. I think the answer was it's still 2 or 3. But that's mostly just from what I recall seeing off the top of the noggin. So I may not be remembering some of them.
Still making new archetypes? Will we ever see a new set of batches?
I'm not really, because to be honest with you, I feel like I've kind of hit all them, because I tried to sort of approach them in a certain way where they're in categories of potential strategies while not being too heavy-handed with locking people into just one particular thing. So, or if anything, to be honest with you, I feel like I would potentially get rid of a couple of them that feel like they're kind of odd archetypes out. They don't really fit the same structure. So I don't really think there are any real big categories of playstyle that I've not accounted for in archetypes. And I also just wanted to get the number of archetypes high enough so that the number of possible matchups was big enough that realistically we would find it very unlikely to get the same archetype matchup multiple times. And being at 33, I mean, we can do it right now. What is 33 squared? It's a high number. 33 to the second. Yeah, over 1,000. So as much as I would like to add new archetypes, realistically, I don't know that that's really going to happen unless there's like some other idea that we've just never done before. It was just not even on our radar at all.
I have returned
All
from
right.
being summoned. What were you talking about?
We were just talking about archetypes the way that they've been made and whatnot, and might there be more in the future? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't really think so. Because I don't think there are... Because I've basically gone through every character, every talisman, and thought, okay, is there a way that you can build a team around this? If so, make an archetype for it. If not, then, okay, leave it up to the... You know, it's not going to have a dedicated archetype. Maybe there are ways that it can be worked into some of the ones that exist. That's the other thing, is trying to make them all distinct and not having a bunch of overlap between different archetypes. Because, I mean, sure, I could make the slightest of tweaks to some, and then you have 3 versions of what is functionally the same thing, but then that doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, it's not interesting to randomize when all of the choices are the same.
Alright. Well, I think we're just looking at a standard match here, so let's hop into the action.
The fate
I can't tell if you're sipping through a straw loudly, deliberately
welcome.
rubbing your finger across the bristles of a brush as loud as possible, or something else that may or may not involve preparing to consume the imprisoned frog.
None of the above, actually. I was rustling a bag of bread.
Okay.
And I'll have you know that when I said I would be right back, it was because I was releasing the frog.
He's
So
free!
this is,
A prisoner of war has been freed.
Virtual turn.
he's been liberated.
He has.
So is this a pick whatever you want match?
Indeed.
Alright.
Alright, so it's a worm in the first spot for Phaler, it's Oralek in the first spot for Lilac. We're at the Glade of Liu.
Exile.
For what might be the first time tonight. Maybe we've been here once before, but this, of course, being one of, if not the smallest, arena. Exploding Pamitha in the second spot for Lilac. And a second worm for Phaler, this one being a Titan Tooth Gilman. Kerfang Jody in the last spot for Lilac. So here we go with our first matchup of the day between Phaler and Lilac. Both players taking their preferred teams, no requests in play here. And it is Lilac getting us started with a 20 damage plunge from Pamitha. She is now gone in this round though, and Lilac stunned by the Titan Tooth, which Phaler then follows up with a banishment, and now follows up with a worm throw for 15, though, as we just saw, Lilac took a bunch of extra starting Pyre life with those demons. And Phaler, with that banishment, did get Seize Chance on his worm.
The flame is stricken.
So that means that's a 25 damage throw rather than the usual 15. And maybe looking to follow up with another one of those from Gilman, though this time it's a plunge. And with no prayer beads means he is gone in this round. But there's Deluge. who goes with a throw. That time it's for 10. Gilman's back. But he's banished. Gilman, though, banishes, or rather, Deluge banishes 2. Gets the orb back, but goes down. Ametha. Banished. Deluge. Against Jody. Goes with a throw, and this time it's 15.
The two triumvirates are neck and neck.
Does tie us at 80 Pyre life apiece. Phaler goes down with Gilman just before getting the throw off, and here comes Lilac with Orlek, but Orlek is temporarily stopped and now banished. That leaves just Jody back defensively. But now she's gone. And that means time for Phaler
Gilman threw it in.
to throw that one in for 15.
Shall the fates press their luck, perhaps?
Orlek banished. Phaler looking to capitalize on the C's chance, and does. That time 21 damage, so a little bit more than he would usually be able to get, but not quite the maximum on that throw. This time,
Barely a mark against
it's
that
8.
flame. Oh,
And the Titan Tooth stunned Lilac, and now Phaler looking to follow up, but loses Gilman. Lilac, though, loses Jody. Now with just Pamitha, but she's gone. And after that banishment, means an uncontested throwing opportunity for Phaler, this time for 15 damage. And Lilac down at 21 means that Phaler does have enough damage, but only if he has C's Chance active.
has doused the flame.
And meanwhile, here's Lilac, plunging for 20 with Pamitha. So does Phaler try to force the issue with C's Chance?
Quite an
Or does he just take what he can get? And that worm got a banishment, but doesn't have C's Chance, so unfortunately for Phaler, that's just 15 there. But now, at this point, Phaler no longer needs to be picky. Lilac sitting on just 6 Pyre Life means one score of just about any variety, such as this, will do the trick.
The fate prevails.
GG.
Perhaps they do deserve their freedom after all.
Well played, you two.
The rite is ended.
All right. Well, let's head on back and let us know if there's anything we'd like to see
Till the next rite.
for the next one. That one was all up to the players, the first matchup between Phaler and Lilac, but Phaler's had his warm-up now. Both of the players are ready for whatever you can throw at them. But if you'd like, of course, we can always leave it up to them. That is also an option. Not seeing anything at the moment, though. Let us know if you guys do have anything in mind. But if not, then we'll hop back in. Oh? Oh, it just sounded like someone was about to say,
No,
I have an
no.
idea!
I do. I was trying to see.
The fate shall come.
Did we just get a
Lids.
random blade twice in a row? I think we did.
Okay, we don't have to change the arena, but first I was going to ask, Lids, where's the Titan stars?
Oh, did I not? Hold on. Let me see. Doo-doo-doo.
However, I was
Nope.
going to suggest archetypes again. That was going to.
I mean, we can still do that if you'd like, I
Alright.
suppose. We're not too far along to make that happen. Let me see. What happened here? Oh, okay. There it is. Alright, so yeah, if we want to do archetypes, we can. Up to you guys. No formal request for it at the moment, but if you'd like to opt in, we can.
Well,
I would like to opt in.
Alright. Sounds like it. What with Lilac having proposed this idea in the first place, I take that to mean that both players are in for archetypes.
Yep.
And Phaler, I'll roll you first as player 1. Okay, Let me send you yours. Archetype on the way for you, Phaler. While you're looking at that, I'll roll Lilac's archetype. Let me know if either of you have any questions. Happy to answer them via DM to maintain the secrecy of your archetype. Obviously, we're on the Glade of Lu, which, as I was saying before, what with it being such a small arena, that could potentially shape how the players opt to execute these archetypes, as that is Tamitha in the lead spot for Phaler, with the Luminous Idol. Then Aoub's Wing for the infinite stamina on Tizo in the first spot for Lilac. Quick Throwing Palmas in the second spot for Phaler. Hand Singularity on Raji for Lilac in the second spot. Prayer Beads Barker. That's Phaler's last choice. Then Exploding Messenger Imp in the last spot for Lilac. So here we go. Both players have an archetype, a secret archetype. We shall see how they have built upon those concepts and how they will execute them here in the field. Phaler, here with Tamitha. Switches in to Barker and he plunges. That's good for 20, and I believe, yeah, he had Prayer Beads. And a little bit of a repeat here. Phaler liked the combo, goes back to it. Once again, resulting in a 20 damage plunge for Barker. Barker on the defensive here, and not usually the strength of the Kerr, certainly not if you're going left side Kerr, but he made it work there. Prayer Beads once again, so Phaler still at full strength. There's the Luminous Idol activating, and then Phaler switches in for a quick throwing Palmas, but the throw is just a little bit off the mark. But on the second attempt, here's Barker. And it means one score is potentially all Phaler needs, and that's exactly what he gets here with his heart. GG.
They vastly outperformed their adversaries.
Well played, you two.
The rite is complete.
All right. Well, that was another Archetypes match, so if you two would like to share what your archetypes were, you are welcome to do so.
Mine was Sacrificial Lambs. Benefit from one or more of your exiles getting banished.
That was an interesting one, I feel. Mine was Misdirection. trick your opponent into expecting one thing, then surprising them with something else.
Well done, you two. All right. That was an Archetypes match, but let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, if not, then of course we can always leave it up to the players. I did, as I was sending the DMs to the players on that one for the archetypes, sometimes I'll see people give me a little emote with a thumbs up in response that is basically, you know, them saying, okay, I understand, I don't have any questions about this one. But for maybe the first time this go around, when I sent Phaler that one, he gave me the eyes emote, the like, huh? So like, uh-oh. I wasn't sure if that meant he was gonna have a question or not.
No, it's a good one. It's a really interesting kind of theme for a game. Quite cool.
Definitely a fairly open-ended one, because if you wanted to, you could leave it all just up to the way that you execute with the team, and not necessarily set up with any particular masteries or talismans, but the closest thing to having setup for that in the masteries or talismans probably does come from the Harp Salute. Alright, but not seeing any particular requests this time round, so I think that means we'll head back in for our next match here, this time with the players just taking their preferred teams. And will we end up with 3 Glades of Lou in a row?
The fate
Apparently not.
take on the Pyre hearts. Welcome.
I always win.
Who shall conduct the rites?
So no requests here. We do, however, find ourselves on a random boat, which, depending on the extent to which the players choose to embrace the boat magic, could be an impactful feature for this match, as Phaler this time goes quick throwing Manly in the lead spot. Mooncrest Orlek is Lilac's first choice.
Exile.
Titan Tooth Raji in the second spot for Phaler. Super rekindling on Lilac's Volfred. Phaler opts for Zoxiana in the last spot. Lilac goes with a speedy Viz Palette.
Now begin.
A little bit of boat magic perhaps that time for Orlek, but it only led to him getting banished, and here is Phaler
Upon the flame.
plunging in with his Imp for 25. That means no Raji once again. Orlek is very eager to leap forward into one of the opposing auras. His Paleth made it a little bit further, but did still end up getting banished in the process. Now it's Phaler defenseless, at least momentarily, but Manly has returned and is using his his exploding saplings to get banishments, as demonstrated there. And Lilac momentarily defenseless, but Volfred has now returned, as has Orlek. But there is Phaler's sap throw landing for 25. Orlek every time. I mean, that time he didn't immediately get banished, but it's almost a carbon copy. It's always boat magic. It's always extra distance on the jump. It almost always leads to him landing in an imposing aura and going down. But this time it's Phaler, plunging for 25 with Raji. Orlek, slightly different that time, at least in the execution, but he does come back quickly, courtesy of Mooncrest. Instead, now he's chasing down and getting the orb back from Manly. He goes down there. Now it's back with Phaler in the wings of Zoxiana, but she is felled. Phaler gets the block there on Manly. Now the banishment, and now the orb. Calculating his angles. But the trigonometry was off. Whoa, that was quite a leap from Vizpaleth, but she went down nonetheless. Zoxiana against Orlek. Orlek does about 3 stutter steps in midair. But hey, it's the boat. Physics don't apply here. Meanwhile, Phaler flies in for 20 with his harp and does have prayer beads on Zoxiana, so she's back. That Titan Tooth stunned Lilac, although the orb did not cooperate with where it landed. Phaler now with Manly. This time, the throw is good for 25. Phaler locks down the orb with a sapling. Lilac flies over that sapling, does retrieve the orb, gets stunned, and then banished after the Titan Tooth triggers. Zoxiana for Phaler. Opts to go around the side, then switches into Manly and sacrifices him in the process. Some big airtime there from Vizpaleth, but doesn't stop Phaler from getting the block, and now the quick response with the Zoxiana plunge. Oh, I was about to say, somehow Orlek threaded the needle there, finding the tiniest of spaces in between the sapling and sap auras, but did eventually end up going down nonetheless. He has returned. Here he is, but the orb is right next to Lilac's Pyre, so Phaler will gladly retrieve, only for that to be intercepted and for Raji to be banished. And now here's Orlek for Lilac. And there he goes, plunging in for 25. That means he's gone in this round. Phaler getting aggressive with the exploding sapling. May have a bit of an opening here, though. Lilac recovers quickly enough with Vizpaleth. Zoxiana gets the orb back, and no one defensively at the moment. Switches into Manly, who has a little more damage, so he throws this one in for 25, rather than what would have been 20 damage at most from Zoxiana. And that means Lilac sitting on 5 Pyre Life, though remember we did see a lot of rekindling coming from Lilac's Volfred. It was all of the masteries, plus a rekindling talisman as well, as there is Orlek, getting the boat magic that Lilac has long been looking for. War for the orb in the middle there. Phaler gets it, and then with that throw triggers that 70 rekindling. Lilac with Orlek. Almost managed to fly over all of the defenders with that huge leap, but did eventually get stopped. Now it's Vizpaleth's turn, who also gets banished. The orb is stuck in a rather odd place, but Phaler is still able to get it. For a second there, it had you wondering. But Phaler follows up with a plunge. That means we are tied at 50 apiece. Phaler gets the sapling to explode, clearing out some space, and then here is the throw for 25. That means Lilac drops down to 25 Pyre life, and with no rekindling left, that means one more of those sap throws or imp plunges, as I do believe we saw Phaler has 25 damage with this imp. That would do the trick.
The fate prevails.
GG.
Their adversaries confidently thwarted.
Well played, you two.
The rite is done.
All right, well, let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
And let us know if there is anything we'd like to see for the next one. That was all up to the players. We just so happened to get a random boat. And if we don't have anything in mind, then of course we can always leave this one up to the players as well. That is also an option. Not seeing any requests here, so perhaps that is the direction in which we will go.
The fate versus the Pyre.
This time we find ourselves at the Nest of Trieste
Welcome.
with no requests, so all up to the players here. I am not sure that we've seen the Nest of Trieste yet today. Might be our first match here. Phaler goes for Nutrition Stick on Manly. Lilac goes for an Exploding Headwind. This time it's Phaler going big on the rekindling with Volfred and Speedy Throws. Don't worry, that is not the quarterback talisman. Phaler would never do that. He was a part of Team Speedy Volfred. He knows better. Here's Speedy Snadra for Lilac. Orez Scale for Gilman. That's Phaler's last choice. Meanwhile, Lilac goes Kerfang for extra plunging damage on Almer.
Now go.
Phaler, first the orb with Manly. Sidesteps that cast, but no quick throwing talisman, can't get that throw off in time before Manly gets banished. Lilac loses Almer. Now Volfred. Manly to take his place. Sidesteps again. A few times at that. Oh, goes for the quick little throw, but didn't have enough on it. So it lands a little bit short as Lilac leaps into the lava. And Phaler flings his worm into the flame. That's the quick little throw that Phaler was looking for last time. It's 3 damage. Chipping away at Lilac's Pyre.
If I were that one, I'd be rather angry.
Lilac with Almer has the infinite stamina. So going out for a bit of a run here.
Alas for Almer.
Almer does eventually go down, and now it is 1 sap on either side of the arena, and that time Phaler gets the full 25 damage out of the sap throw.
Yes.
And oh, once again, though, Phaler finds the sap throw falling just ever so slightly short. Lilac loses headwind there. Manly, and there's a chance that throw may have been unblockable, as is sometimes the case for sap throws. So Phaler gets the full 25 out of that. Manly back at it here, but this time does not have the time to charge up that throw. Lilac retrieves, waits, and makes a move. Palmer sneaks through, and with Kerfang, that's extra damage there. It's 28 on that plunge, but it also means no Almer in this round. There's a little more room for Phaler to maneuver around, and at this point, no defenders back. Headwind goes down to the sapling. So Phaler sets up a 25 damage throw, and in doing so, drops Lilac down to 7. So one quick score might be all Phaler needs, although we have seen some of those quick sap throws actually land for less than 7 damage, so it is not necessarily a given that any and every score for Phaler would suffice. But with that Worm Plunge, that is enough. GG.
Their adversaries must be crying tears of shame.
Well played, you two.
The rite is complete.
All right, well, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And it's getting late enough that I'm wondering if this may turn into our penultimate rite here, the last one in which we take any requests from chat before we go into our Liberation Rite protocols. So, in that case, let us know if there is anything we'd like to see, as this would be our last chance to do that before the night is through. Anything else we would still like to break out?
I vote archetypes once more.
If that works for you as well, Phaler, we can certainly opt for it. All right. Well, let's see. I think you said yes there, Phaler. I think I cut you off a little bit.
No, that's good with me. Yeah,
all right.
I'm in favor of archetypes.
All right, so I'll roll for you first, Phaler, since you are player 1. Okay, Phaler, your archetype on the way. Now I will roll for Lilac. And let me send you yours. Okay, let me know if either of you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll load into the arena, see where we end up. Get the players thinking.
The fate shall
Oh, well, it's, as I think I was saying earlier today, maybe the most neutral arena, which is not a bad thing, but just not one that is likely to influence their decisions all that much. As Phaler goes with a nutrition stick on Volfred. Oh, and yeah, let me know if either of you have any questions. Admittedly, I did not really check, but it doesn't look like it.
Can I get a different archetype?
No, that's not how it works.
Worth a shot. Oh, okay. This one's gonna be interesting.
Your choice.
I mean, as I've sort of alluded to before, some archetypes, they're more open-ended than others. Some, it's pretty clear. There's a few ways that are the obvious approaches, the obvious, you know, particularly if there's a mastery or a talisman that is sort of key to that strategy, but in other cases, there's a lot of room for interpretation. We'll see where the players fall with their archetypes this time round, as Phaler goes Vorfritz. Also means those ones are the more open-ended ones, probably a little trickier to build teams for, because it just takes a little more strategery to figure out how to fit all the pieces together. Lilac goes Kerfang on Dulbert. Phaler with 1 sap, 1 crone. And now with Gareth, 1 savage as well. Lilac finishes with an exploding Bertrude. And here we go, another archetypes match, both players with their randomized archetypes. They have built around here. Phaler threatening to throw, but Lilac in position to intercept, except look at that exploding sapling play from Phaler. Takes out the entirety of Lilac's team, except with the help of that numbing gust. Wasn't much Phaler could do, at least until Lilac got someone back. Did eventually end with an 11 damage throw, though. But there is Lilac breaking out the Crone Salutes, except Phaler had the orb. Lost one of his exiles, and that exile is already back in its usual form. Meanwhile, he might try to score with that Howler. It did go down. But now that's 2 non-Howler exiles. Make it all 3 for Phaler, so he has weathered the storm. Lilac fishes for the Crone Flute. No, you already used it in this round. I'm afraid that is a one-time use kind of deal. There's the Numbing Gust again, but now it is Phaler scoring in the same round that Lilac used that Crone Salute, and that's not the value you want to see from a one-time use kind of mastery. Phaler now. One side with the sap, the other side with the Crone, but they both go down. And this time it's Phaler with everyone banished, and so it's Lilac suffering from the numbing gust. Lilac, though, finds a way through with what is a 28 damage Kerr score. And Delbert is back. Thaler with another big exploding sapling play, although in some ways when your opponent has a numbing gust, it's almost preferred if you can avoid banishing everyone. But it is such a hindrance at times. That is exactly what Thaler does here. Does he have enough time to still score? He does. It does, though, of course, mean that he has to plunge rather than throw, so he is now Vorfrit-less in this round, as Lilac once again tries for the Crone Salute for the 6th time? It's not coming back. Larry Bird is not walking through that door. Thaler lines up the throw, and it does land. As we said before, there are some distances at which those sap throws can be unblockable, as looked to be the case with that one. Lilac, for good measure. Little crone spin. Well, Thaler did not take kindly to that. Except with that short throw, it means Lilac is still holding on here with 5 Pyre life. Now, of course, both players do have saps, so both players may have some rekindling. Of course, however, we know they have both of them, the numbing gust, which means that's on the opposite side of the tree. At most, we'd be looking at 10 rekindling.
Didn't see it coming.
So not likely to be a big factor here, if at all.
Was the last of them.
Numbing gust, and can Baylor pick up the orb right on the edge of the sapling? Maybe, but he goes down in the process.
Into the adversary's flame.
Lilac does the crone spin, which at this point, that's all it's doing. Delbert. Down he goes, but the numbing gust activates again, slowing Thaler down. Once again, setting up the sap throw, but this time Lilac is able to intercept. Bertrude gets the stamina back, but gets banished. Sap, chasing Sap. Now Thaler with Vorfrit, waits for the stamina to return. Makes the move, but there is the rekindling, and as anticipated, it is just 10. So at this point, means one score from Thaler would likely be all that he'd need. Will it come from Gareth? Not this time, but with a false step, the second
GG.
time does the trick.
Most excellently
GG's.
done this time, I must admit.
GG. Well played, you two.
The rite is ended.
That was another archetype match. If you two would like to share your archetypes, you are welcome to do so.
I had misdirection. Trick your opponent into expecting one thing, then surprising them with something else.
Something that Thaler might be a little bit familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what you were doing at all.
Did
Mine
I
was-
succeeded.
Suppose so. Meanwhile, mine was debuff, which is what a Nora had, so I had to put a different sort of spin in this, which is emphasize lots of ways to passively debuff your opponents.
Yeah, so this is just sometimes the nature of the random number generator. Sometimes it insists on rolling the same numbers repeatedly, but fortunately this time round we saw the same archetypes for different players, so we got to see how we could have different interpretations on those archetypes, which is a cool thing to see as well. But I do think that was our penultimate match, our last one in which we take any requests. So that means this one would be our final match, our Liberation Rite. So no requests from chat for this one. As we will set things up accordingly, that means Never to Return Pyre Hearts edition. And if you two are ready, then let us begin.
Stand forth, exiles. You are gathered at the fall of Solium. Each of you seeks to be free from this forsaken land. Cling to whatever shred of hope you have. The Fate, stand ready. Higher hearts, stand prepared. Who shall strive for freedom?
Alright, so as we were saying, this will be our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. There's no request from chat for this one. Both players just taking their preferred teams, and for Phaler, that means it's a webbed lanthorn on Tizo in the lead spot. Lilac will go Mooncrest on Oralek. Titan Tooth Raji, that's Phaler's second choice. Whereas Lilac will go with a Speedy Stowaway. Phaler opts for triple imp here, also did mess with us a little unclear as to which of the throwing talismans he ended up with. Whether it be the quick throws or the banishing throws. We'll find out soon enough. And Lilac goes Kerfang on Almer. So here we go, our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. Phaler on the left representing the Fate, and Lilac on the right representing the Pyre Hearts. Best of luck to you both. There it is.
have proved their worth.
GG.
Their adversaries, they defeated
GG's.
us.
Well played, you two.
Thus ends the Liberation Rite.
And that was our final rite of the night, our Liberation Rite. So thank you everybody who participated in the rites today. And everyone who gave us the requests in chat as well. I'm going to hop out of Discord, but I will catch you guys next time.
Fair.
Oh, and then I cut them off. Alright, I believe they have already fled Steam Remote Play. As I was saying, that was our final rite of the night, our Liberation Rite, so thank you everybody who participated in the rites and everyone who gave us the requests in chat as well. This was Pyre Community Rite Night, and if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then the best way to do so is by joining the Rite Club Discord server, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. My name is Lids, I'm hosting these Rite Nights, and my streaming schedule is weeknights, and by weeknights I generally mean Wednesday nights. We're doing Path of Exile 2. Then Fridays, we're doing Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, Saturdays, Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and then Sundays, obviously this, Pyre multiplayer. Then Lids Vids on YouTube as well, posting the VODs for those streams, so if you missed anything, you can catch that stuff there as well. Also doing some Hades 2 videos straight to YouTube, in addition to the occasional Path of Exile 2 build guide video. You can check out the latest guide short right there. But if you haven't done so yet already, then of course you can also hit the follow button to get notification when I go live. Also at LidsVids on Twitter. I post there when I go live as well. But actually the best place to stay up to date on all things Lids is my Discord, which you can join by clicking on that link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'll catch you next time.